I just want to let you guys know that I want to help all of us really get us through it. And, you know, hopefully when we come out on the other side of it all, that we're going to look back and say, you know what, this wasn't too bad.
Hey, what's up guys? So today I'm going to be showing you my matches as I play in the Crush Card Cup hosted by Simo. Anyways, shout out to Simo for hosting this. I think this tournament is a really good event to have, especially during the quarantine season when people don't really, you know, have much to do, and more people are home as a result. So I'm really looking forward to this tournament, and without further ado, guys, I'm going to show you guys my first match. So let's get into it. So I am piloting Evil Eye Eldlich, or Evil Eldlich as I call it, and then Alan, my opponent, is playing Pure Zoos. So he won the dice roll and is going first, and she's just gonna turbo into Dryden just because he didn't open up that well. He normals the Ram and does just turbo Dryden. This line of play actually plays around Nibiru as well, and that's my initial thought. I thought he was actually playing around Nibiru. And because he only set 2 at the time, I thought that he had 2 hand traps. Honestly, I thought there were like an Ash and a DD Crow, or like some form of like interruptions. But anyways, I'm gonna draw, and during my draw phase and my standby phase, I actually thought about like potentially imperming the Dryden here, so I can activate Domain and get the search, and then use Zerziel to pop the Dryden. But I decided not to do that just because I figured that in main phase 1 I can use player priority to send the red and then just send the Dryden. And because like I don't think that he would have any way to like stop this. If he actually set this call by the grave here, which we see now, but I didn't know at the time, then it would actually like destroy me here. But if he were to do that, I'll just then imperm that and then go with the domain route. And that's why I decided that attempting to send it to the graveyard with Eldritch is the better play, in my opinion, or like the right play to do first. Anyways, I do that, and Ollie gets met with Solemn Strike. And because Strike resolved, I couldn't send the Dryden. Here I decided if I still want to do the permanence domain play, but I decided not to because I wanted to just beat over the Dryden with Lord, and then Lord can't be destroyed by card effects because he came from his graveyard effect. So here I'm just gonna beat over the Dryden, see if he has anything. And in main phase 2 I activate Domain. It didn't get me with an Ash Blossom, so here I thought I was totally fine, and I normal Zerziel to get the search, but it gets met with an Imperm here, which I thought was like still okay because in my graveyard there's 2 elixirs, which means I get 2 lands, which are 2 forms of disruption. So I can get a DD Crow and a Dryden, which is funny because I'm playing against Dryden, or aka Zeus, right? But I essentially get a use Eldlich to search the counter trap because I know I'm gonna get the other 2 through the elixirs. So here I set DD Crow and the Dryden, which is Haquero and Conquistador. I set the land and the Imperm, and from here it's like essentially 4 forms of interruption. And I don't think he has much here, and so in standby phase I immediately shotgun Aquero to banish the Dryden, which was my initial thought, but he proceeds to like scoop. But the thought was that I wanted to banish his Dryden, and if whatever he top decks, I'll Judgment and send my my Haquero instead of sending my Lord for cost through the counter trap, and that's why I did that. We went right into siding, and he elects to go first again, which I thought was weird. I'd rather go second against Eldlich, just because like going first I can just send, or going second I can just send his card. So here he activates Tenki, gets the Rat, and then Rat just turbos out right into Dryden right here. So he sends the combo, and just makes Dryden. So he turbos out Dryden, and then he passes here. Here I was like thinking in my hand, like there's no way he does not have hand traps. And I was really afraid because I was like, there's no shot that that he doesn't have hand traps playing Zeus, because Zoo is like they're all 1-card Dryden's, right? And 1-card combos, and then you play infinite hand traps. That's kind of like the theory behind the deck, really. And so I was like trying to play around as much as I can. So in main phase 1, I'm gonna show you a critical play I made to play around a DD Crow, which I thought he had, but at the point in time obviously I didn't know. So I send red here with Lord, and this is really important because if you have white in hand, if he chains DD Crow or Call by the Grave to the Lord, I can chain the white so that it does resolve. And because white is a quick effect, and so that was a play that I was thinking of. But I was just afraid that he had DD Crow, and so I'm trying to bait the DD Crow, and that's why I don't set my white. So I bait the DD Crow because I thought he honestly had it. I'm like, yo, this guy's playing Zoos. He plays infinite hand traps, so there's probably 3 interruptions in his hand that I don't see. And so I send Conquistador for cost to like bait out any potential hand traps, but he didn't have it. So I thought in my head like, what? He didn't have it? Dang, okay, that's fine. So I just attack for 35. I set 2 forms of interruptions that he didn't know I hard drew, which is really important. And I banished red to search a counter trap. So all he knows is like a counter trap and then red, and that's all he knows. So here is a critical error I made, or like something that I believe that I could have played around better. In stand my phase, I should have just shotgun Aquero and banished Trident. But the reason why I don't do it this time around is because I have, if he proceeds right to like main phase 1, I can just counter trap the first thing he activates and then activate red or white to get access to my land's second effect, which I believe like it's better because I usually don't like shotgunning the Aquero. The only reason why I was shotgunning Aquero in the last game is because I can then tribute the Aquero for cost and keep my other lands live, because I don't want to tribute Lord for cost in that situation. So I rather like Aquero like the Chaka 9, like Monster Reborn, anything that targets in the graveyard, just so I can gain some more advantage from the Aquero. And so that was definitely a greedy play, and you'll guys like we'll see why soon. So he subjects the Whiptail and he goes into Chak right here, right? And so on the Chak summon, I think about whether I want to pop it right away, but I decided not to because I kind of want to just make his Chak useless, because he's probably going to use Chak effect to Reborn, targeting Trident, and I'm just going to chain the DD Crow here and then just banish the Trident. But what he did was he actually chained combo, and this was something that I overlooked as I was playing the game at the moment. Because combo can just target 5 monsters or Zoo monsters in his grave, shuffle it back, and then draw 1. And so I was like, I immediately got outplayed here because the Trident would get back into his extra deck, and then he can just overlay Chak on top of it. He does that. He chains it, so he shuffles back. So I missed the DD Crow, and then he gets to also draw 1 card. Here he immediately turbos into Trident, which again, this is another misplay here, but like I said, I didn't know what he was playing, and I didn't know what he had in his hand. Like I was also trying to play around a Cosmic Cyclone as well. Like I was thinking of ways that I can like outplay him in the situation, but he makes Trident here and just sets 2 and then pass. At end phase, I activate red, and it's gonna get met with Ash like I predicted. I'm gonna activate Conquistador, which now that going back about it, I should have just immediately activated on the resolution of Chak summon, and then just pop the Chak right there so he couldn't make the Trident. So he's gonna change Trident on the Conquistador, and then I activate counter trap so I can. But oh yeah, I don't actually activate the counter trap here at this point in time, because in game 1 he had Solemn Strike in his main deck, which led me to believe that he's playing the Solemn package. Also, he elected to go first. If he's electing to go first, I'm assuming he's probably playing like a bunch of like spell speed 3 interactions, and so I didn't want to like forever there. That's why I'm gonna shotgun the Cosmic Cyclone here and then hit his set. I hit the evenly, so I thought in my head like, what is this guy siding? Because why would you side evenly matching going first, right? So I wasn't sure on that interaction, and I go into battle phase just to attack this, and then just attack with Lord here. And then I banish red. I get the Conquistador to pop his next normal summon, and then just pass there by setting another red. So here I have 2 forms of interruption: a counter trap and a pop. He's gonna upstart Goblin, gets a Thoroughblade, and on the Thoroughblade summon, I'm just gonna pop it right away because he didn't use Thoroughblade's effect. I knew that he probably didn't have a Zoo card in his hand, because there's no reason why you wouldn't do it. Because Thoroughblade is just a free discard and draw 1, and then it makes your pot of avarice. It makes a lot of cards like live for you, and so I just pop it on the resolution of the summon. He's gonna activate Monster Reborn. I'm just gonna negate it. And then at this point, he tries to set Ash Blossom, but he already normal summoned Thoroughblade, so he couldn't do that. So he gets bounced to his hand. End phase, I'm gonna activate red to Reborn. just so that I can just make Gustav Max and burn him, and he disrupts the Gustav Max. I'll use Lord Effect to special summon from the grave. But at this point, if you guys have too much advantage, and he immediately concedes. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for match 1.